I'm Laima. I'm a mother, a performer, an artist, a music producer, and a musician. And I'm half of InnerSwell.
I'm Lexy. I'm a programmer, producer, artist, and musician, and I'm the other half of InnerSwell.
So InnerSwell started in the pandemic. Lexy and I met once and we talked about how both of us have been engaging with the work of Pauline Oliveros and her use of sonic meditations and deep listening to work with awareness of sound, and how that really was meaningful for us.
So we saw the Gasworks open call and developed what we felt were the core foundations of what we wanted to do, which was engaging with other people, encouraging and providing a space for other people to engage in the creative process and using sound as a narrative tool.
We were chosen to be the participation resident artists, which is a very specific and special kind of residency, which means that you work with the communities around Gasworks. And this open call was especially related to migrant communities. So we started developing a series of provocations. For example, share a sound that reminds you of home, or what's the sound of sleep? These provocations that we were sharing with people and in between us. We decided to do our first artwork, which is a set of cards. It's called the Rituals. So these cards are going to be shared with the communities, with other artists, with people that want to work with sound.
Our approach is always fully collaborative. It's very much letting the group, that in the nature of how they work, the identities that they bring, individual and collective, and we then tailor everything to work with that. So one of the first groups that we engaged with was the Triangle Adventure Playground, which is around the corner from Gasworks, about a 5-minute walk. And they are an incredible space that's been there for 65 years as of next year.
So the Triangle is an adventure playground for all young people aged 6 to 17. We were founded in 1957 by a lady called Marjorie Porter.
I think what sums up Triangle nicely is the fact that we've got kids who play at Triangle, whose parents play at Triangle, and grandparents play at Triangle. So there's a real sense of this is the land that, you know, multi-generations of same families have grown up playing and learning on.
We went into the space and let the kids between the ages of 8 and 11 record and document their space, create sounds, got them thinking about listening and listening to their environment, or creating different weird noises and sounds that they could play with.
I think what was a nice part of the project was the chance to return to Gasworks with the children. So bringing a group here to be welcomed by Lexy and Laima with a crazy amount of sound technology, samplers, drum pads, drum machines. I think that really gave the children a chance to kind of take the project on.
Yeah, and it's also a great opportunity for the kids to leave, so you see a new place as well, local to them, so then, I can come to Gasworks, I can do this, and maybe feel like an artist or for the day as well. I think that's always quite a nice experience and opportunity for the young people as well.
Another group we work with is the Latin American Youth Forum. And it's a group of support for completely newcomers to this country, the teenagers that just moved here. They barely speak English. They're from Latin American countries. So we invited them to come into to Gasworks and to work with sounds. Soon after start working in this way, we noticed how amazing that sound could substitute language as well, which was the biggest barrier for them.
I work for LIFE, which is the Latin American Youth Forum. Basically, we provide free services for young people ages 13 to 19. We focus on 6 pillars, which are identity, mental health and well-being, relationships, employment, education, and rights as migrants. So we try to cover all these subjects in anything that we do, whether it be sports or creative workshops like the one we did here.
And then Gasworks asked us to collaborate with the exhibition that was downstairs showing in the gallery. And the exhibition was of Bassan Al-Sabah, and his work is very related with identity. It has a visual very similar to video games. So that was really, really interesting for the teenagers.
The workshops were based around looking at this film, I Am Error. And the idea was for the young people to redo the soundtrack for the movie. So the first few workshops were the young people watching the film, and then them playing around with this device that they got to loop and press on and off different kinds of sounds. And then we progressed onto workshops where the young people recorded their own sounds.
Bassan sent all of the sounds he had researched, and it was amazing. Like this bank of sounds with like Donkey Kong, Zelda, and all of these sounds of video games that the kids that would then recognize. And the kids could play the sounds back to the film that Bassan was showing. And that became a durational performance. So if you would come on that Saturday when they were performing, they were playing their own sounds to the video.
So the feedback I got from the young people was based around an initial opinion of, what is this? I have no idea what this is. To, enjoying the whole experience and saying like, oh, okay, I didn't know this was an aspect of art that was out there. Like it was never something in their kind of field of experience.
The third group we started working with and are still working with is OPO. OPO is the Out and Proud African LGBTQ plus group. And that's also a very important support group because it brings together people that left Africa mainly because of their sexuality. Mainly the group helps them with laws and paperwork, relationship with the Home Office and so on. But they also do creative workshops, and that's when we as InnerSwell were invited to collaborate with them.
We met in the group of power, that same group, which we call a home for us to express ourselves and get to socialize and meet all kinds of cultures and appreciate one another, and also like
it's a home to the homeless.
Yeah. So some few weeks ago, we were part of a series of projects about sound, which were basically, well, for us, some of us, we didn't know anything about the sound. So we came and some of the members of Gasworks had to explain to us. So we started by making animal sounds. It was very interesting. And from there, we could make any sound of our choices, any form of sound we find fascinating to us. So the best highlights for me was the rainstorms, where you find it in various tones, like from a high note, then it just
goes
comes
to the low note.
Yeah.
It really surprised us. We didn't really know that we'll come up with something
Nothing.
like
we
that.
We hadn't planned anything at all.
And we are like, some of us were like, now I'm an artist.
Yeah. Some of them have already started getting questions. Hey, so now you can sing. You went to a studio. Like, it's good. It's good.
They told us that they would love to have an installation because that's visible and that would bring other people to see the work. So we're working towards that. But they also told us how important it is to bring this work back to Africa. So they all left the continent because of being not accepted, and how powerful would be this work to go back there. Work in process with OPO, developing a series of ideas, connecting with other institutions that they could continue working with. But it was a very deep and meaningful work.